Hi, everyone. I'm Leslyn Keith. I've been a certified lymphedema therapist for over 20 years, and I've developed an exciting program, Lymphatic Lifestyle Solutions, that can help you better manage your lymphatic or fat disorder. And I wanted to share with you that program because now for the first time, it's going to be offered online. So previously you had to go to a clinic where it was being offered. It was going to be in person. But now, because there are so many people that are homebound and have it, it's much more difficult for you to get out of the house because of various factors. I thought this is going to make it more accessible to everyone who needs this program. So let me share with the information about that program with you now. So as I said, my program is called Lymphatic Lifestyle Solutions, but now it's offered online because I partner with Robert Bergstrom. And so let me tell you a little bit about the two of us. So as I said, I've been treating lymphatic and fat disorders for over 20 years. I'm an instructor for a training program for therapists to learn how to treat lymphatic and fat disorders, and that's through close training and consulting. I've also written 2 books, The Ketogenic Solution for Lymphatic Disorders, and also my newest book that just came out in September of 2021, The Lymphatic Code. I'm also the president and director of research for the Lymphedema Project. And this is Robert, and he is also an occupational therapist. Has been treating people for over 15 years. He is a certified lymphedema therapist, but really important to this program is Robert is a life coach, and he has really fabulous skills to help you make lifestyle change. And he's the owner of a private practice in occupational therapy that includes lymphedema therapy treatments, self-care therapy, and that is in Wilmington, North Carolina in the USA. So our mission with Lymphatic Lifestyle Solutions Online is to educate and support participants to make and sustain lifestyle changes that optimize your lymphatic functioning and also improve self-management of your weight and your lymphatic or fat disorder. And really important to what we want to do in each and every class, we want you to learn something and we want you to leave with a smile on your face. So I think that you will enjoy this process as you're learning to better manage your weight and your lymphatic or fat disorder. One of the main reasons I got into this is that because excess weight creates so many challenges. Obesity makes it difficult even to leave your home for medical appointments. And as you're doing less and less care of your health, you get this downward spiral in health. And obesity, as you know, is associated with multiple other conditions that make lymphedema treatment, if you are able to access it, it makes your treatment more complex. It makes it more time consuming. It makes it cost even more. And then after all that, it's less effective. And lastly, many people have wanted to lose weight and they've attempted multiple times to lose weight and it has not worked, or it's worked and then it's come right back. And so now you may feel very hopeless and you're pretty much given up trying to lose weight. So at Lymphatic Lifestyle Solutions, our online program, we have some answers and we can give you real progress. In a video you can see at our website, you'll see that there you can see videos of the results that other attendees of our program have attained. So we do have something that has been shown to work. And the whole reason that this program was developed is because it came out of a research study that I conducted that concluded in 2015. And in 2017, I published this article about the results of that study in American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine. And so I had a group of my patients who were obese and had lymphedema And they had already gone through treatment with me, and now they still had lymphedema and they still had a problem with their weight. And so they joined my lifestyle group, and it was a 12-session group, basically the foundation of lymphatic lifestyle solutions. So, and a big part of this class is that we promote a ketogenic way of eating, is that the foundation to a healthy lymphatic system, as well as having healthy weight loss. And some of the basics of a keto way of eating are that it's just eating real food. And you can see pictured here on this slide that this is just real food that's all recognizable. This is not something unusual. It's no, meal replacements or any shakes or anything. It's just real whole food. And it does focus on restricting your carbohydrate intake. But you can see that even though you're not eating a lot of carbs, that these look like normal foods that you would normally eat anyhow. And it really focuses on those healthy fats. And we help you understand what are the healthy fats and how those fats help your lymphatic system. We want you to still have moderate protein. This is not a protein restricted diet. It's not a high protein diet. And then there is a lot of research that it's proven that this way of eating is the most effective for weight loss. There's 31 trials since 2003 that have used human participants, and they show significantly better weight loss with low carb diets. And this is interesting that I'm just going back to 2003, because prior to that, the agencies that regulate what kinds of studies you can do with human participants, they weren't allowing us to study high-fat diets because they thought they were dangerous. And so in the early 2000s, they started allowing those studies to be performed. And of those randomized controlled trials, which is the highest level of study, that they showed significant better weight loss with using carbohydrate restriction. But how many studies during that time since 2003 showed the opposite, showed that continuing to eat a high carbohydrate diet was good? Zero. And this is information that I got from dietdoctor.com if you want to consult that website. And then the really good thing about the ketogenic way of eating is that low carb results in more fat loss, because you don't want to just lose weight because you're losing bone or you're losing muscle. You want to lose fat and retain nice, dense, strong bones and retain your muscle mass. And so especially when carbohydrates were limited to 50 grams per day, which helps you get into ketosis or generate ketones, it becomes a ketogenic diet, then we had more fat loss than any other way of eating, and it preserved your muscle mass. This is really, really important. Another reason why we promote this way of eating in our lymphatic lifestyle solutions class. And this one study that shows that this is true, if you would like to look this up, it's by Hashimoto in 2016, and it was published in the journal Obesity Review. So I want to just tell you a little bit about the nutritional effects on lymphatic system and typical ways of eating and versus the ketogenic way of eating. So there is evidence, particularly in animal studies, that when we're exposed to high fructose, and we know that a lot of highly processed foods have a lot of fructose in them, that's inflammatory to the lymphatic system. On one animal study, it showed that the transport capacity, the ability of the lymphatic system to move fluid in your body was reduced as much as 50% when the animals were on a high fructose diet. And this was published in 2012. And interestingly, on every weight loss study showing its effect on lymphedema, and every weight loss study showed that if you lost weight, no matter how you dieted, if you lost weight, your limb swelling, your lymphedema went down, got smaller. Except one recent study when that wasn't the case, and it was because they used a high carbohydrate, high fructose meal replacement So they had reduced calories, but they were still getting high fructose. Well, as we saw in the animal study, that caused inflammation in the lymphatic system. And so they lost weight, but their lymphedema did not get smaller. So we know from studies like this that carbohydrates can be inflammatory to the lymphatic system. And when we reduce the carbohydrates, as we do in a ketogenic diet, that's going to be beneficial for you. And then fatty acids and ketones that are generated on a ketogenic way of eating, that we have seen studies that it actually stimulates lymph vessel growth. And if you've had, for instance, impaired lymphatic function because you were born with lymphedema, or you had treatment for cancer in which they took out lymph nodes, so now you're missing parts of your lymphatic system, to be able to generate new lymph vessel growth that can help you manage your lymphedema. And so this is an animal study that was done in 2017 who showed that how this worked for mice. But we've also, we're seeing it now, some new studies coming out on humans, actually a study in progress in Belgium right now. This is another study also on animals, but it showed how lymph vessels actually preferentially like to use fatty acids and ketones that are generated from a ketogenic diet. They preferentially like to use that, even if they have a choice of using glucose or sugar, they like to use the fatty acid and ketones. So that, again, was done on animals, but this group that did this animal study, they are the group in Belgium that is now doing this same study with humans who have lymphedema and having them adopt a ketogenic diet. And we should have the results of that study in 2022. So how do you do it? And that is part of making healthy lifestyle change is not something that's easy. And so this is why we have it with the group. We're going to give you not only the science and know what to do, but you're going to have to know how to do it. And so this is Robert's information on making lifestyle change. He talks about the legs of a three-legged stool. So these are all three very, very important things to making lifestyle change. And the first leg is focusing on the right thing, because there are many things that you can't change. You can't change that you've had treatment for cancer. You can't change that you may have grown up in a place that you were exposed to some environmental toxins or something like that. So you have some things you can't change. But what we found is that in one study, it showed that 40% of our health is actually related to behavioral choices. And these are things we can change. So in this course, we're going to help you focus on those things that you can change. And interestingly, it used to be that the number one reason for lymphedema, at least in the United States, was due to cancer treatment. But now the number one cause of lymphedema worldwide is it's leading towards obesity. And so we know that this is going to be one of the most important things for you to address is your weight, because that's going to help you. So we're going to focus you on those important things. And then the next thing that's going to be important to making successful lifestyle change is believing that it's possible. And I know that many of you feel hopeless, that you have tried and failed multiple diets and you have not been able to sustain the changes. And so you may not believe that it's possible, but we want to show you in this class, we want you to be able to know that it is possible. So we want you to be excited about it and know that you can do this. And so having the support of the group, because making those substantial changes can be difficult and challenging, but if you have the support of the group, it makes it so much easier. And also, we're going to help you deal with those limiting beliefs, a belief that you can't do this is too hard, or other limiting beliefs that you might have. We're going to help you overcome those barriers. And then lastly, another important leg to making successful lifestyle change is finding your why. What is your reason for wanting to change? And we're going to help you find that thing that is so important to you, that it motivates you, that it makes you want to do this thing that can be challenging. So at Lymphatic Lifestyle Solutions Online, you'll have 12 live interactive sessions, and these will happen once a week. And then also once a week, we're going to have group coaching sessions. So for instance, our live interaction sessions will be on Mondays, and on Fridays, we'll have this group coaching where it's just an informal questions and answers and helping people understand and progress with whatever we talked about in the last session and any other questions that people have. And then we'll have a special member-only community forum. So it's a safe place for you to communicate with not only the instructors, but also everybody else who's in the class along with you, that you can get and receive and give support to others in the class as you're working through the course. You'll also get a free copy of my book, The Lymphatic Code. And this is also the place where you'll have that special portal to the course that will have all of the assignments, all the worksheets. You'll have your manual for each session, and a lot of resources. So that's all going to be available to you. And then also we realize that you're not going to be able to make each session live. You may not be able to get to each Q&A group coaching sessions live. Don't worry, everything's recorded. And so by going into the portal, you'll be able to get all those recordings of anything you missed. Or even if you were there, maybe you want to watch it again to review it. And so that's all going to be there for you. And here's just a look at all what the sessions are. And I will say that, about half of the sessions are really focusing on issues related to diet, because of all the lifestyle changes that we're going to recommend to you, that's probably the most challenging. And so we want to help you with that the most. And so in the first session, it's lifestyle modification principles. And also we're going to introduce you to the basics of healthy eating. So I used to not introduce the ketogenic diet until the second session, but people really, really wanted to get it at the first session. So we've now put it into session 1. And session 2, we get into it in much, much more detail. And in session 3, we're going to start to deal with some of these issues about how do I make this a habit? How do I build this way of eating into a routine? So this is my go-to way of eating. And some of the challenges associated with this way is when you're eating in social eating and with the holidays and traditional foods and eating differently than other people around you. So we'll talk about that in session 4. And in session 5, some people, many of people in the course are going to have other conditions besides their lymphatic or fat disorder. And so they're going to be concerned about if this is a good way of eating for that condition as well as my lymphedema. And do I have to make any changes or modifications? And so we're going to talk about how we manage and possibly prevent other chronic medical conditions that you may have or are worried about getting along with your lymphedema. And then in session 6, we've added this as a new a module here because when we're going online, you are not our past patient. We haven't seen you before, and we want to make sure that everybody is on board and they know what is the optimal way. If you were to go to see a trained, certified lymphedema therapist, what are all the things that you should be getting? Because maybe you've had some treatment for your lymphedema, but you don't know if you have the optimal treatment for your lymphedema. And so we're going to talk about what if you were to go to a clinic, what are those things that you should be looking for? What should you have with that treatment? And then in session 7, we're going to be looking at those barriers to making lifestyle changes, particularly changing your way of eating, but this can apply to any lifestyle change you want to make. And then in session 8, we're going to start talking about physical activity and exercise because many of you already know that movement and physical activity can have a beneficial impact on your lymphedema. And so we're going to talk about that and also as it relates to other lifestyle issues. In session 9, we're going to talk about stress resilience. because stress can have a big impact on your lymphatic or fat disorder. And we're going to talk about how our coping strategies and stuff like that. In session 10, the importance of sleep and the impact that sleep has both on weight management, but also the impact of sleep on your lymphatic system. So really important session there, as they all are. And session 11, we're talking about life balance and time management, because especially with lymphatic or fat disorder, it takes a lot of time. And we're finding that people spend a lot of time managing their lymphatic or fat disorder. And so we're going to talk about how to balance that all so that you still have a good quality of life while you're trying to manage your condition. And in session 12, we're going to bring it all together, wrap up and review everything, but also how do you plan for sustaining all these changes you're able to make during the course. So our next class starts on January 31st, 2022. So as I said before, we'll have our live interactive sessions on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then the group coaching will be on Fridays at 12 noon, also Eastern time. And our new introductory price for this session that starts on January 31st is $499. And so to get more information, of course, you can contact us, and I'll have these links posted below. You can contact us at lymphedema@gmail.com. If you would like to attend a free webinar to learn more about this class before signing up, that's going to be held on Monday, January 10th at 2022, again at 4 p.m. Eastern time. There's a link right here, but I also have a link below to register for that free webinar. And you're going to get some good information at that webinar. You're going to walk away with some good information. It's not just to tell you about the course. And if you would like to just go to our website to find out some more about Lymphatic Lifestyle Solutions online, there is the link right here. And also you'll have it below to look at the website and learn more about the course. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you at our class, Lymphatic Lifestyle Solutions online.